Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence to follow.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll? Oh, before she calls the roll? Okay. And if we can make sure that we all speak up so that he can hear us.
Hi, Andres. We're getting ready to call the roll.
Wonderful.
All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Cindy Simpson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brett McWhirter.
Here.
Trustee Daniel Hennick.
Here.
Trustee Nick Manning.
Here.
Trustee Corey Jabor.
Here.
Trustee David Gaines.
Here.
And Trustee Andreas Esparza.
Here.
All right, thank you. The next item on our agenda is approval of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to move item K, executive session for legal advice, to the July 23rd, 2025 meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. So we'll move on to audience business. And just before we start, we always read our little rules and things. Senate Bill 24-131 prohibits firearms in public buildings with the exception of law enforcement. All people wishing to address the board shall do so from the podium provided in the boardroom, and all comments will be directed to the board. Public comments regarding items not on the agenda shall be limited to 5 minutes per person unless part of a formal presentation. Public comments regarding public hearing items on the agenda will be limited to 3 minutes per person at the time the item comes up on the agenda. Special presentations of items not on the agenda shall be limited to 5 minutes. The board will appoint a timekeeper. All people from the podium shall clearly and audibly state their name, physical address, and the town business topic they wish to speak about prior to speaking. No person shall be allowed to speak until recognized by the mayor. Requests to the board to accept written information shall be accepted at that time, though no action will be taken at the meeting. Written information accepted at the meeting shall be provided in the board packet for the next meeting if necessary. All right. So, having read all of that, we have one person signed up, so you get to go first, Mr. Worth.
Good afternoon, respected trustees and honorable mayor of the town of Mancos. I am Mark Worth, resident of 10750 Road 43, Mancos, Colorado. I am before you this afternoon seeking a fair easement compensating my wife and me for the use of our land for a water diversion, settling ponds, pipeline feeding raw water to the town of Mancos. Referring back to the 1990 easement, which you guys have had a copy of at least twice. Whereas the town is ready and willing and able to compensate Shepherd by furnishing certain water to their end. Now therefore, in consideration for the use premises, the parties hereby agree as follows. Shepherd hereby grants the town an easement for water acquisition facilities on the land here and above described. Shepherd shall have the right to install and receive water from 2 taps the main flow line of the town. 2 taps from the main flow line of the town. The tap shall be installed by the town, but all pipe and materials shall be furnished by Shepherd. And installation of any pipe other than the tap shall be at the sole risk, cost, and expense of Shepherd. The tap or taps shall not exceed the size permitted to the users of the water within the city. Any water which the town has or obtains by or through the Mancos River not needed by the town may, at such times when not so needed by the town, be used by Shepherd on lands owned by Shepherd adjoining the land upon which the easement is granted, or in near proximity. I think by now I've demonstrated that you have only 1 tap on the line, so the second tap called out there has not been used. The photo that we've passed around several times, shows the water that flowed until 2017. My wife and I are not bad people. We have significantly improved the riparian zone and your water quality by removing cattle from 1 mile of river upstream of your collection for 10 years and adding 15 structures to reduce the speed of the current and allow upstream movement of endangered fish. But this is not a popularity contest. This is about a 1960 easement or a new easement allowing the use of our land for the town's primary water supply. We are requesting the second raw water tap that was granted by the 1960s trustees of Mancos. In compensation for the loss of the unused water, we are asking for a connection for 1 fire hydrant and help maintaining the road that you use. Maybe 2 hours of dump truck time per year, I'm thinking. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else with this is not on the agenda? Doesn't look like it. Our next item is the Montezuma County Commission update. Gerald, come on up.
Gerald Copenhaver. There's not, Montezuma County's been actually kind of slow as far as our land use policies and everything recently has been, other than a few minor subdivisions and stuff, we haven't been really super busy. We did get an assistant attorney hired. It's going to start in August, so that's going to help out with the caseload. Stephen's been handling even the child welfare cases and everything up to this point, which when I was served as commissioner before, Bob Slough did all of it. He did all the child welfare. He did everything for the county by himself. So he put in lots of time. And Stephen's been doing that here ever since we got a new county court judge. So we can appreciate the fact that he's been busy, and some meetings he's been having to miss because of he's scheduled in court at the same time. So all that's been going on. Not a whole lot has changed as far as the Colorado River issues and the negotiations. They're just pretty much at a standstill. The only concerning thing that's happened is there's a guy got appointed to the Bureau of Reclamation to be, he'll be in charge of basically of all the Colorado River issues, but he's from Arizona. He was a manager of the Central Arizona Project for about 10 or 15 years. So as far as the negotiations go, it's probably not a good situation for the Basin states to have somebody from there being in charge of that whole situation. So we'll see how that all works out, but it's not doesn't look like it's gonna be a good situation. I think the man's a good man and knows his water and everything, but he's also, everybody is prejudiced to where you're from, and you want that area to do well. So you know that it's pretty hard to get away from that fact, no matter what. We did have a remand back from a judge that we had to give some written. Couldn't just use our minutes as our display, or whatever you want to call it, as far as our decision on the dollar store case on County Road Inn. We heard about a year and a half ago or so, I guess it was in April of 24 that we turned down. So they sent it back to us and told us we had to hold another hearing and let them be able to respond to the things that were presented to us on the day of the hearing, and to have some written findings. And we couldn't just use our minutes as our written findings. So we had to have another hearing, and when we got through with it, first one, the dollar store people presented a bunch of material, so we had to let the other people have a chance to respond to those. So we've had 2 hearings about the dollar store in the last couple of years, but we still turn it down again, and we'll just have to do written findings and send it back to the judge. I think the next thing that will happen is, I'm sure we're going to still be in court, and they're going to try to attack our high impact permit process. Where that'll go, I don't know, but it'll be down the road for several years probably before it's all settled. It's just another lawsuit that's going to go on. Other than that, that's about all that's really up there. One of the commissioners from La Plata County actually resigned recently to take care of his wife. His wife was having some medical issues. He resigned, and they've appointed a new person over there here in the last week or so. To tell you the truth, I couldn't read. I heard her name, but I would not say that.
Elizabeth Filbert.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Yeah, that's right. Okay. You guys got any questions for me?
Any questions?
No, thanks, Joe.
Thank you. All right, next up, announcements. Staff?
Nope.
Heather has none. Anybody up here have any? All right. Well, I'll make one. There will be a town booth at Mancus Days. So thank you all for agreeing to staff it. All right, moving on. We have our consent agenda, and all items will be determined, approved or denied together. And so the items on the consent agenda are approval of the minutes of June 11, 2025, June bills and claims, and the Mancus Creative District liaison update. So I would entertain a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to our discussion and action items. First item is 2024 financial audit. Tell us how we're doing.
You want a 30-second version?
Yes.
Sounds good.
I really don't have a lot to point out. Everything's in good shape as always. Your general fund, if you want to call it a net loss, or your expenses were higher than the rest, whatever you want to call it, 280,000, but that's because of the marshal building. So your reserves are still pretty healthy. Water fund made little money, 100,000. sewer fund lost about the same, but most of that's depreciation because of the plant there. Really no concern, everything's in good shape. That's definitely the plan.
All right, cool. Any specific questions?
I would say all of those copies are for you, those copies on our website. If after you review those, you join like a special meeting or workshop to ask any questions. Just let me know.
Okay. All right. So Andres, I'm sure you probably couldn't hear that, but we have copies of the audit, and if we want to have a work session with Heather, we can schedule that at some other time. But otherwise, things are looking good.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Anything else on this item? If not, then I would entertain a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 financial audit as presented. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Brett McWhorter?
Aye.
Trustee Daniel Hennett?
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning?
Aye.
Trustee Corey Jabor?
Aye.
Trustee David Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Andreas Esparza?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you have any questions,
You're
just
off
let me
the
know.
hook.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next item is El Rio Cantina, July 26th through 27, 2025, open container permit. Anything from staff on this?
I do.
Okay.
So I was able to talk to the business owners. We come up with a plan on ensuring no over-service, what plan for security is. Everything seems, a go. They have a great plan together. I have no issues with the open container permit since they've had the El Rio. So it's just growing pains and learning what we can do to make the event as safe as we can for them. So I support the board's decision on wherever we go, but I would recommend approval. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andres, do you have any questions?
I do not. I think after looking at what you all sent and that the marshal is okay with it and they have 3 officers this weekend, I'm feeling good.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns?
I have
Nick?
a question for you guys. Just managing noise and how, I know with the residents across the alley, that was an issue like years ago. I'm just curious, like, how we avoid them coming back in here.
This is, sorry, I didn't look at the packet. Did they submit a noise exemption permit? Have we required that in the past, or does the board just approve it with the open container permit?
We haven't requested a noise exemption because the hours that they're open are late.
Yeah.
We asked for a noise exemption to go outside of the hours, not.
This goes past the hours though.
This goes to 2 a.m.
This goes to 2 a.m.
Well, their license also.
Well, it's so the board can do a variance for the weekend, and that's what we've done in the past. If there's live music outside, the board can do the variance for the weekend for the business. And that's what we've done in the past. What that does is it allows the live music. Usually the bands are shut down midnight, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we say on the paper it did say till 2, but our plan that we stopped. We haven't kept everybody out around 12.
Last year we closed right at
Plus 2
midnight.
years.
Yeah.
And then what they have done in the past is light, and then the DJ inside the business to mitigate the music outside. There was only 2 complaints last year for the weekend, and I don't think with those individual citizens, no matter what we do, there's going to be. So with that being said, it's that's just what we're doing.
Okay.
But the board wants to see more information or something in writing. You can put that on July 23rd agenda this time.
I mean, I think we should have a variance in there for the noise ordinance, because otherwise we're kind of crossing wires to me, and with purpose. And just having that as an extra piece in there would just kind of alleviate any potential issues.
I'm pretty sure there's a staff report on this agenda with current ordinance information, their plans and writing. We'll give them that to you. There's no agenda. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't see, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't see any
fine.
reason not to approve it. I just think we need that extra.
Do you want to see that, or do you want to make it a condition of approval?
I don't think it's a condition of approval. I think that's a diligence from the board side. I don't think it's a condition on them.
Yeah, no,
I think it's on
I think-
us.
Okay.
to make sure we're getting a runway for approving this. I don't think it's on.
Okay. All right. So we table this for now? Is that,
No,
or we?
I'm,
Oh, okay.
I'm willing to approve this now.
Well,
Same
okay.
thing.
I think we just want to add that to the next agenda, to have a plan for the noise and to make sure that we can approve it at variance at the next meeting, or have it on there.
Okay. All right.
Their own container permit. Get a noise ordinance variance, or whatever the code level says.
Yeah.
At the next meeting.
Okay.
With full transparency to the public, so the marshals like, you know, if there's, or this meeting was published, it's posted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with
Okay.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anything else? Do you guys want to come up and say anything?
Cool.
Okay. All right. Discussion, David?
I don't have anything.
Corey? Brent? Daniel?
For me?
Nick? Other than the noise? Okay. Then, sorry, got ahead of myself. I would then entertain a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the open container permit for Pioneer Plaza for El Rio Cantina on July 25th through the 27th during the Mancus Day celebration.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Brett McWhorter,
Aye.
Trustee Daniel Henning,
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning,
Aye.
Trustee Corey Jabor,
Aye.
Trustee David Payton,
Aye.
Trustee Andreas Esparza.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Motion passes. All right, next item is Mesa Verde Motel liquor license renewal.
Yes, so they submitted their renewal application and it is set to renew on July 19th. They've had, no previous, mishaps or anything like that. They've had no violations and the marshal's office hasn't objected anything. So I would just, also that with the new state laws, in 2025, they switched from, to lodging from lodging and entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any questions for staff? Nothing? Andres, any questions?
No, I'm all good on my end, thank you.
Okay. I would then entertain a motion and a second.
I make a motion to approve the Mesa Verde Motel retail liquor license renewal and authorize the deputy clerk to submit the renewal application to the Department of Revenue. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Brett McWhorter,
Aye.
Daniel Henning,
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning, Trustee Corey Jabor,
Aye.
Trustee David Payton,
Aye.
Trustee Andreas Esparza.
Aye.
All right. Next item up is water treatment plant fence and gate purchase. All right, Kyle.
Good evening. I'm just requesting funds to replace the fence and the gate at the water treatment plant. As you know, the existing gate there and fence has been in service for, I'm estimating, about 35 years, and it's at the end of its service life and needs to be replaced. This new gate would have electronic access codes, so we could have site control access for staff and deliveries. It would basically be the same setup we have at the wastewater facility.
Nice. Any questions of staff?
No, I literally, like, this week I drove by. I noticed the gate, and I was like, oh, that seems really fragile. I don't know why, it's still passing thought.
I know, I had the same thought last week. We were up at the lake and.
No, I think it's a good idea. Just security and just ease of use.
Yeah, all right, so good timing.
Yeah.
All right, then I would entertain a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the replacement of the town of Mangus water treatment plant front gate and fence not to exceed $14,150.
Second.
We have a motion and multiple seconds. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Brent McWhorter.
Aye.
Trustee Daniel Henning.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Corey DeVore.
Aye.
Trustee David Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Andreas Esparza.
Aye.
All right, moving along. Motion passes. Moving along, trustee protocol update discussion. So, yeah.
It's a red line changes, and I made some red line suggestions based on conversation. Or, based on reports and how to set agendas.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to answer questions.
Yeah. Any questions from those of us here?
Nope.
Andres, do you have any questions regarding the protocol?
I do not.
Okay.
Well, looking good.
All right. And we've all looked at it. It was in our packet. And so I would entertain a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve the revised trustee protocol. Wait.
I have one question in here.
Oh,
Page 37.
nah, I must have missed that one. It's okay.
We want to avoid liaisons because there was discussion, so do we want to avoid liaisons only to those organizations where we have voting power? Or do we want to keep the liaisons the way they are now? And have to add a number of committees as you choose? My only question.
Okay. What do you think?
I think so. Mainly because sometimes when we're on boards that we don't have voting power on, just our being there can kind of lend credence to, oh, the board approved this in the minds of the people on those boards. So I think as long as we don't have voting power in it, we should just abandon those.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah.
Daniel?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. Corey?
I agree.
Okay.
Same.
Andres?
Sorry, I was on mute. I caught most of what everybody said, and I'm good.
Okay. Cool, thanks. All right, so answered? Okay. So,
Going back to, I make a motion to approve the revised trustee protocols effective July 9th, 2025.
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Oh, that was, he's just on delay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so next item is the revised 2025 work plan.
You talked about this in the retreat, so I make the changes that we discussed. And those items that we have pushed forward will be included in our 26 budget or the newly adopted or revised 5-year capital plan we adopted next year after we finish the 26 budget process.
So, Andres, basically what Heather said is that these are the changes that are proposed are basically what we talked about at the retreat, and that the things that we put off to 2026 have been shifted. So.
Wonderful. Yeah, things like the election and town hall and all that. I see it. Thank you.
Exactly. All right. Any comments, concerns, questions? All right. I would entertain a motion and a second.
Back to basics. I make a motion to approve the revised 2025 work plan.
Second.
All right. A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Andres, are you voting for it?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? All right. Sorry, I sometimes forget about the delay. All right. That is done. And we moved the executive session to another day. So the next item that we have is items for our next meeting. So in our packet, it says workshop, Manx Valley Chamber. Workshop begins at 5:30, and then consent agenda will contain the minutes from tonight, any committee update reports, and the noise waiver, and it seems like there was something else. Oh, the executive session. Yes.
I will also have a tree board appointment if the tree board.
Tree board appointment. Okay.
We will have a P&Z appointment if the planning commission recommends that you will. And then based on the changes to the protocols, I will be bringing back to you those organizations that we vote on, asking for your payments to set up, because we also have some openings on some of those.
Okay.
So I'll be bringing that to you the next meeting as well.
Okay. Sweet. Thank you. All right. So it looks like in addition to what's in the packet, we'll add the noise waiver for El Rio. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cantina. And P&Z appointment potentially, and a tree board appointment potentially. All right. Anything else that anybody would like to see on the agenda? All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.